What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. This is the season finale for Bel-Air. Bear with me, people. I'm in Barcelona, Spain right now. Internet has not been that good. I finally got a chance to watch the episode and I weren't going to leave you guys without doing the finale. Now, we know the big thing is we want to know what's been going on and where was Lou? Well, guess what? He comes back this episode and we get to find out a few things. But before we jump into this, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of it. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, Will has a lot on his plate. We know that Lisa, she doesn't want anything to do with him because he lied. And she found out that he was packing a pistol. We also seen that Uncle Phil withdrew from the campaign. So we're going to jump into this finale and we're going to see if we can tie together everything that's been happening. This is the season finale for Bel-Air. We start the episode off with a little gathering for our Aunt Viv. We know that she's getting ready to go on this little expo thing, so she's just showing off all of her artwork. Now we see young Will. He's looking at a picture of him with a crown on it. Now Uncle Phil comes over and he's talking to him like, man, I ain't know Aunt Viv was this dope. But he's saying, yeah, you actually inspired her to do things, to go forward. And what Will does here is he actually thanks Uncle Phil for being that father figure for him and actually accepting him into the family and helping him out moving forward in life. Now, Aunt Viv, she doing her thing, you know what I'm saying? She got the hair down and her friend Denise is like, oh, Aunt Viv, I see you doing your thing. Is that guy with the eyes showing up? And she's talking about our boy Project Reed. She's like, nah, he's been a little busy and he figured tonight should be about us. Now, we know that there's something going on between those two. I mean, as of right now, it's just business, but we know there's something deep. Maybe season 2, they're going to uncover that. But right now, this moment is about Aunt Viv. There's a lot going on in this little expo here where everyone is celebrating. But guess what? Jazz shows up. Hilary is talking to Ivy, and you know Ivy, she's the influencer. So it's pretty much at this point, Hill is kind of falling around, seeing what she's doing and, you know, just picking little things. Now Jazz comes over and he introduces himself to Ivy and he asks, you not gonna poison me, are you? And you can see Hilary low-key hating because they holding hands and they making a little bit of eye contact. Then we have young Will and Lisa. Now we know that Lisa is mad at him because he lied about why he came to Bel-Air. He said it was just for a school opportunity. Now in the middle of all this, she's saying, Will, I'm not here for you. I'm here for your auntie. And plus you lied to me. And Will is saying, I had to. You know what my uncle did. So Lisa's hearing all this and she's really hurt because she liked Will. And he didn't tell her that, you know, he went to jail for shooting a gun. He didn't shoot nobody. But of course she's upset. And Will's looking at it like, man, I really like Lisa. I never felt like this, but she doesn't want any parts because she's still a little bit hurt. So of course, Jazz is like that big brother. He tells Will, look, you need to go talk to Lisa and just tell her how you feel. Like that's all it takes. I've been turned down before. He's been turned down several times, but yeah, we done all been shot down in life. But if you want something, you got to go do it. This leads Will to go over and talk to Lisa and tells her, I love you. The 3 words you shouldn't say unless you really mean it. And these kids are like 17 years old. They don't even know what love is. But he's like, I love you. I just want to be able to talk to you, have a chance with you. She's saying, not here, Will. Now, I don't know why they're acting like this is a soap opera, but she said, not here, Will. I have some free time. We can talk about it later. Now, my main man, Jazz, he finally gets some. You remember Hilary, she's trying to get up out the influencer house, and that would be $50,000. Well, after the little event, he met Miss Ivy. They went back to the room, you know what I'm saying? They in the bed with each other. Who knows what they did? I think we know what they did. But she's getting a message, and it's like, oh, man, Ivy, all these big, important people, they're seeing her. And Jazz is like, I don't know who any of them are, but you should start approaching Ivy as a business partner, not as you just tagging along and she has the clout, because that's really what it looks like. You see a lot of young people, they see people on social media, Instagram, and they're easily influenced by it. And I don't know why, but it's just something that they see. Everything that's on social media is 9 times out of 10 fake. Now she gets a call from Will. She doesn't answer it. Jazz gets a call and Will's like, hey, let me talk to, you know, my cousin. He's like, how'd you know I was with her? I'm not with her. And Will's like, come on, man, I seen you with her at the little expo. So now at least Will knows that Jazz is smashing his cousin. But What he's asking Hill is, can I have some advice? I need to talk to Lisa. She said that we can talk a little bit later on. And Hilary's pretty much telling him the same thing. Just be upfront and tell her everything that you want her to know, because you got to clean your slate at this point, Will. Carlton's getting ready to hit the gym. I ain't know this little dude was that buff. I'm like, okay, I see you, Carlton. Pause. But he's in the room and he's getting prepared. Uncle Phil walks in like, hey, Carlton, what you got on your plate for today? Because what he wants to do is be there for his family. You heard when he withdrew from the election, well, the campaign, he said he wanted to be there for his family. So what he's doing now is he pulled a few strings. Uncle Phil is known for that. And he's getting a chance for him and Carlton to go down there and, get on the track and drive a little bit. Now, Carlton hears this and he's like, what about Will? He said, nah, I just want to do it father and son. So, Carlton jumped on that. He's like, shoot, this is going to be good. Will's in the kitchen, whipping up some eggs. Little Ashley's in there. And Carlton comes down like, oh, no, I'm trying to eat healthy, but we don't have any food. I wonder when Geoffrey's going to get back to go grocery shopping. Now, you remember, Phil got rid of Geoffrey. He told him you could leave. It'd be a family emergency, but don't come back. Now, Will, Ashley, and Carlton, they all have different stories. One said that it was a family emergency. The other one said that he's just on leave. And then Will says, no, it's some information that he gave me about my dad. And Ashley's like, yeah, I think he fired Geoffrey. So no one really knows what's going on with Geoffrey. He just isn't at the house right now. Fellas, listen to me and listen to me carefully, especially my younger brothers. Do not be Will Smith. I'm talking about in real life and on the show. Well, Will's over here. He's leaving a voicemail. Hey, Lisa, I just want to be able to talk to you. It's a few things that I want to say and get it off my chest. First of all, when you leave a voicemail, no one ever listens to a whole voicemail. It's like, okay, who is this calling? Who do I need to call back? I don't need a 30-second, minute-long message. Well, he's leaving a message and saying he wants to talk to Lisa. Then she sends a text message and says, at 3 o'clock, I'll be free at the cafe. See? And Will left all those text messages. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Now, we see somebody leaving the house. But when they leave the house, there's a car on the left side of the road and they drive right up into it. So I'm thinking, as soon as I leave, why is there a car parked on the left side of the street when this isn't a place that you can park? But when the doorbell rings, guess who it is? It's Will's father, Lou. And Phil's looking around like, what are you doing here? And guess who sees? Carlton sees it. Will's father, Lou, is here and he wants to see his son because whoever that guy's name is, some black guy, he's talking about Geoffrey, came looking and saying that your son really needs to see you. Now, we remember Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv, Vi, none of them wanted Will to meet Lou. And we were all wondering, what was it? Why doesn't anyone want him to see Lou? Well, that's because Lou was in prison. Lou got out and Lou didn't hear anything from Will or the family to even know where they are. But the first chance he got, when Geoffrey came and got him and gave him the information that his son wanted to see him, he came out here. But the thing is, he doesn't have any money, so someone else had to pay for that flight. So he's still trying to get back on his feet. Now, Uncle Phil told him, look, all right, Lou, I'll try to set something up, but just let me handle this. And he goes and talks to Aunt Viv. Well, it turns out Uncle Phil was actually Lou's lawyer. Lou went to jail for allegedly beating up an old man and robbing him. Now, Aunt Viv is saying, did he want anything? And everyone's saying that he's like a con artist. He's trying to get something out of the family. But he didn't do that. He came here and said he wanted to talk to his son. So Aunt Viv is saying, okay, maybe we should let Will speak to him. But the reason Uncle Phil is kind of downplaying is because he was the lawyer and he didn't tell Will about it. So you were part of the problem also. So now you're trying to play the father role. And that's why Geoffrey was saying, hey, I can't just let this go down like this because Uncle Phil, you knew all the information about Lou, but you never gave it to Will. So you're a part of the problem along with Aunt Viv and along with Vi. And I told you all that Carlton seen Lou show up at the house. So he tells Will, hey, I got to talk to you about something. Mind you, Will's getting ready to go talk to Lisa at the cafe. But he's saying, I seen your father Lou, but I didn't know what he was here for. And no one ever told Will. And Will is saying, well, there's some documents on Lou that I gave to Uncle Phil, but I don't know what was in those documents. So neither one of them know that Lou was in jail. All we know is that Lou showed up at the house, Carlton seen him, and no one told Will. Carlton actually went in his father's office and he found the documentation. This is everything pertaining to Lou going to jail and Uncle Phil being the lawyer. So once Will reads it, he goes and confronts Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, and he's like, y'all wasn't gonna tell me? Y'all covering this up? I told Geoffrey to look into my dad. He got some information and Uncle Phil didn't like it. Then you hear Aunt Viv say, so that's why Geoffrey is gone? So now everyone's figuring out Geoffrey was fired by you, Phil, because you were trying to cover up your tracks for being a lawyer to Lou, and Lou going to jail and you not telling Will, but you were also protecting your wife and your sister-in-law, but no one gives you credit for that. It's just you messed up and you fired Geoffrey for trying to cover everybody else's tracks. But Will wants to see his dad. He's just had his birthday. Yeah, he's a man now. He wants to meet his father. So Uncle Phil was explaining why he didn't really want Will to meet his father, Lou. Just because, you know, he was in and out of jail. He was getting back on his feet. Now, Will calls his mom, and even she's saying, well, the reason we didn't tell you about Lou is because we wanted to protect you from that. And that's where the problem lies. Will is a man. Every kid deserves to know their father, whether they're junkies, alcoholics, successful, no matter what, a kid needs to know their father. You shouldn't be able to just keep that information away from him. And that's what Vi did. That's what Aunt Viv did. That's what Phil did. And that was wrong on everybody's part. Now, of course, Uncle Phil gets the most blame because he was the lawyer, but it really falls on Vi because she is the mother. She's the one that laid down with Lou, and it's your responsibility to let your son know that you may have made a mistake with him, but that's still that boy's father. Hilary's at Ivy's photo shoot. And, you know, she's been the thirsty chef. We need to bring her back. But she's watching Ivy and she's actually taking in consideration what our man Jazz told her. You should talk to Ivy as a business partner. Now, Ivy, she's over there looking good. She's taking photos and Hill says, where's the drama? You should be able to pose and it shouldn't just be all about your body and your face. It should be the attitude that you have. Everything. And Ivy's like, okay, I see. And what Hilary does is she proposes that Ivy buys the influencer house from Kylo. And what would happen with this is they would take the house and turn it into some woman empowerment type deal. I'm not too sure what exactly they're going to do, but she said that they can write books and it can encourage young women to, you know, take their craft a little bit serious. But also with this, Hilary, if Ivy buys out the house, that means she buys out the contract and Hilary will be an investment for Ivy and she would be from up under Kylo. Now, if I'm Kylo, a smart businessman, okay, I can sell you the influencer house, but I still own all the contracts to all the content creators within the house. Yeah, you can have the house, but I still own all the contracts. That would be the smart business move, but we'll see what Kylo does. All right, the meeting is set. Will is about to meet his father, Lou, for the first time in over 13 years. Now, Aunt Viv is telling him, look, Lou, when you talk to Will, you better not break his heart or do anything serious to hurt this boy, because if so, I will kick you out my house. He's like, yeah, whatever. And then he drinks on his water. Will and Lou, they finally meet. Now, you know it's going to be a little bit awkward in the beginning, but they're actually talking, and this is what you got to do. You got to have a little icebreaker. You got to ease your way into it. But you can see that they both start to open up with each other a little bit. And even Will starts talking about, hey, I think I remember we went to a basketball game. It was a Sixers game. And Lou is like, yeah, I tried to get Allen Iverson's signature. But, you know, you were running around and we got kicked out of there because they snuck in there. And when they got home, Vi, she was upset because they were out too late. The conversation started off good in the beginning, but then you started getting a little more in depth. And, you know, you were just surface level in the beginning, but they started talking a little bit about what's been going on. We know that Lou feels like Will deserve better, but he's saying Vi, she put all the pressure on him 24/7. She pushed him to start hustling, to do everything he can. And when Will asked about, so she made you beat the old man and rob him? He's like, nigga, I told you she was pushing me nonstop. Now, I don't know where the beating and, saying robbing of the old man came from. That's just far, like, that's just too far. But we don't know the whole story. And of course, we also know that Vi, when she was telling Will about him on the dock, on that little pier, she wasn't giving the whole story. They never do. They always give what the negative was from the other person. We don't know what Vi did bad. But Will said, you're not going to be disrespecting my mom like that because, hey, that's not what you're going to do in here. But, of course, it's first nature for him to stick up for his mom because he hasn't seen his dad. And the only information he got is bad news from Uncle Phil, bad news from Viv, bad news from Vi. So all the information that's been fed to Will about his father is negative. This argument gets to putting hands on each other. Will's calling him a BAN, bitch ass nigga. It's like, whoa, hey, Lou puts his hands on his neck and then Will storms off. And I'm Viv and Phil, they're like, hey, what's going on here? And he's just like, hey, bro, I came here to be a better father and try to make up for that time. But they just didn't see eye to eye. I mean, I don't know whose side to be on here. I mean, I don't have any kids. Lou was a little too far where he put his hands on him. But Will was disrespectful in the way that he was talking to his father, even though he doesn't claim him as his father. It's still that certain level of respect. After this, Will packs up a couple bags and he storms out the house. But before he leaves, you see Carlton like, hey, Will, stop. And then he puts some money in his pocket. Now, I don't know what that was for. That could be Carlton's way of looking out for Will because he knows that Will is like a big brother to him. Even though they had their disagreements, that could be some money like, hey, while you're gone doing whatever you need to do, here's some bread. Or it could be sayonara, here's some money, get up out of here. But now everyone's trying to figure out where Will is. Now, there was a tracker on the car, but Geoffrey is the only one that has access to it. And Viv is saying, what is our car? Well, let me tell you something, Viv. I seriously doubt you would ever use the tracker. If something was to happen in the house, you would go to Geoffrey. Hey, Geoffrey, could you track the car? Let's be real, people. Let's be real. You're not doing any hands-on with no GPS tracker on no vehicle. That would be Geoffrey. But no one knows where Will is. Like I was saying, Carlton, he gets up and he leaves because he's going to look for Will. So I'm assuming the money was more of, Will, here's some money. So wherever you're at, you'll be safe because they're on better terms now. Vi is on the phone with Viv and she's like, we're trying to find Will right now. And Vi's like, try to find him because no one knows where he's at. Carlton actually goes to Lisa's house. He's boom, 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 banging on the door. I need to talk to you. I can't find Will. And she like, can't find Will. He stood me up earlier. So now we see that Carlton actually feels a certain type of way about Will. And I'm talking about that's that love we've been waiting to see between these two. And Lisa, she's sad because she was supposed to talk to Will. And now that she knows that his dad showed up, you remember, he mentioned he never seen his dad. Well, his dad left, so he didn't know much about him. So she understands that Will really needs help. So now we got Carlton and Lisa, even though they're not together and she's with his cousin, they're on the same page. Let's find Will. Will is with Jazz and they're overlooking the city. And he's telling Jazz it feels like nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. I don't know what I really should be doing. And now Jazz, we know in this Bel-Air, Jazz is level-headed. And what he's telling Will is, man, you got a whole family that loves you. Everyone wants you to do great. The thing is, are you ready to do great things? It's up to you at this point. They got that Meek Mills playing in the background because what he's telling Will is, you're here in LA. Life is not going to be easy. It's what you do moving forward, and how you do it is what makes you the man that you are. So ain't this what you've been waiting for? You remember, Trey told Will, when you go to LA, don't forget about us. And he told him to play that Meek Mill song. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I pulled up in the Aston Martin, y'all thought it was rented? Yeah, Will, this is your moment. We getting ready for season 2. So are you going to go back to that house and man up? Apologize to the family and move forward? Or are you going to run back to Philly? We want to know. There you go, the season finale of Bel-Air. Man, this season was actually way better than I thought. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8.5, almost to a 9. The drama that they gave us, all of the characters, let me tell you, all of the characters, they did their thing. Now, I don't know if Lou's going to be back for season 2, but even him, he played. We're normally seeing Marlon Wayans as a comedian, but he played that role in the seriousness. I was like, okay, good. So I want to know, do y'all think he's coming back for season 2? And do you think that Will's going to boss up, go back to that house, and make things happen? Let me know what you think. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.